I am Dr. Judith Rabinor, psychologist, author, workshop leader, speaker, and I've just completed my new book, The Girl in the Red Boots, Making Peace with My Mother. And this is really a story about my own transformation. What I had to make peace with were my feelings. My mother and I were close. We were very close for her entire life, and I was the daughter who was the designated caregiver at the end of her life when she had Parkinson's and dementia, and that was a very trying time. But my book opens with a story that haunted me for many decades. When I was 8 years old, my mother told me I was going to a birthday party, and I got all dressed up in a brand new outfit, and instead of going to a birthday party, she dropped me off at the hospital. And at the hospital, I had my tonsils taken out. And the part that I remember is waking up the next morning, and there was a nurse telling me, "I'm your nurse." I'm thinking, you're my nurse? What's this about? "You just had your tonsils out, honey." And I was, of course, in terrible pain. My throat was raw. She said, "Don't worry about that. Your mom will come, and she'll bring you ice cream." Ice cream? Why had my mother not prepared me for my tonsillectomy? Well, of course, that's the question I asked when I got older. "Why didn't you prepare me, Mom?" "The doctor told me this would be best," was what my mother said. That made me furious. Furious. A doctor really would say that? And even if he did, didn't you have any common sense, Mom, that it wasn't going to be good to drop your kid off at the hospital instead of taking them to a birthday party? How could you have deceived me like this? And it took me many, many years until my own father was dying to understand that sometimes good people follow bad instructions. Because our family was told when my father had terminal cancer, "Shh, don't tell your dad he's dying. People don't do well if they know they're dying." So we kept up a charade, and I write about that at the end of the book. I write about the charade. My father was shrinking away, feeling horrible, sitting by the hi-fi one day. That was before we had everything we have now. We had a hi-fi in the living room. He's with his oxygen tank, and he said, "I can't breathe. Why is everybody saying I'm getting better?" And I remember being stunned, thinking, what should I say? And I remember saying, "You're getting better, Dad," because that is what the doctor had told us to do. And to this day, I regret that we never really had a chance to say a proper goodbye. Now that I myself am older than how old my father was when he died, I have said to my children, if I ever have a terminal diagnosis, I want you to all surround me, and I want us to say goodbye. And we deprived my father of that, and we deprived ourselves of that. Why? Because we follow doctor's orders. But when this happened with my mother and the tonsils, this was back in the 1950s. Now, if a doctor tells any of us something, what do? We run home and go to the internet and check it out. But there was no internet. And doctors had authority and power back in those days that they don't really have anymore. We're all now very aware that there's always a second opinion for almost everything, and you'd be foolish not to hunt down the information you need to live a better life.